everyone, and welcome to Real Estate Talk today. My name is Jeff Infante, and I have my partners here, Josh DeBrossard and Jenny Clement. And today we have a special visitor today that's going to elaborate a little bit about the current market and what's going on in the mortgage industry. And today we have Aldryn from HomeSpire Mortgage. Aldryn, how you doing, my friend?
Good, good. How are you?
Thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
So, Aldryn, we like to talk about a few things and also to educate the public that's out there listening. And before we get into the questions, tell us a little bit about yourself so that people can know who you are.
All right, cool. So I've been in the mortgage industry for 6 years now.
Nice.
In multiple different roles in the industry. So I've been a processor, underwriting assistant, loan officer assistant, loan officer now. So as a standalone loan officer, it's been a year and a half. So it's good. So.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's great because I mean, it seems like you've been through a whole line of experience, so you're well equipped. Right. So and that's important too because I mean, I think now in this industry, when you're dealing with lenders and they don't understand the underwriting process, it becomes a lot more difficult.
Which is super important. Sometimes I have to submit a loan directly to underwriting, right? And my process and background helps me out with that. Like, got to put everything in the doc and in the buckets, and just submit that because we need a commitment right away. And I feel like that just having that background just helps so much.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's great. So, we're always curious to know because we tend to notice a lot of the companies out there. They they have some of the similar progress, but then they also have like this little extra bonus program that they have that some other companies don't have. So if you want to elaborate a little bit on what type of products your company offers for those people that are listening and might be interested in applying for a mortgage and say, hey, this program is great. So if you want to just kind of touch base on that a little bit.
Well, we do FHA, conventional. We do a lot of 203K products, FHA, 203K. Home style conventional, which is a renovation loan that is it's administered by Fannie Mae. So that's a good product. And I work with a lot of first-time home buyers. So we do a lot of down payment assistance programs. There's Rhode Island Housing. There's a lot of city, down payments that are administered by the city. Like Providence, Pawtucket's big. We do a lot too in Mass. So we work with Mass Housing. And yes, there's tons of different products. I mainly focus on, first-time home buyers, down payment assistance. So yeah. So we're going to talk about a little bit about the programs that for down payment. We don't want to give you the spoiler yet, right? So we want to save the goodies for later, right? So so you said a program, Home Style. I heard that before. Tell me a little bit about that. Like, what is that Home Style? So Home
it sounds pretty cool though.
Home Style, yeah. So no, it's a really good program out there. So if it's a program that's a conventional loan, and it allows people to buy a property that might need some some help, some TLC, some love, and they will cover your renovation costs.
All right, so. If the property have walls gutted all out, would they? That's something that they would consider as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
That, if it's like just cosmetic paint, one cool thing too is that they cover your appliances as well.
Oh wow.
So that's really good. So they cover that, appliances, structural issues, roof, all that stuff. So it covers quite a bit.
So what would be the amount that you would say? Because I know like the 2 or 3K loans, they have like a certain tier, right? Like 30,000, and after 30,000, it's considered like a streamline or something like that.
Is below 30.
Oh, below 30,
grand,
right?
Yep.
And then they have what is it called? The jumbo.
Standard 2 or 3K.
All right, standard 2 or 3K.
The jumbo, he just made that up.
It's just more paperwork.
I'm making stuff up as we go. So all right. So let's go back to the Home Style.
Got it.
So do they have like a limit where
There is a limit, and to be honest, I'm not sure on that.
That's
but
fine.
there is a limit onto what you can add.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, because I know what's going on in the minds of the people that are hearing this right now. They're probably like, oh, flip opportunity right here, right? So I guess the bank kind of has a limitation. So right. So people won't abuse the program
Right, exactly. And you could actually use that program for investment, but Fannie Mae, they give you a limit. So you can't be someone who has like 10, 15 properties. So there's a limit of what Fannie Mae could lend on.
And I think that might be you can't own more than 10 units. Maybe
I think it's 7.
Okay, 7.
7
okay.
units. Yep.
Wow. Okay. Cool. So for those that are not there yet, that might be a program that might be considered in your arsenal, right?
Of course.
Because I mean, right now we look at private lender, which is another avenue that people are utilizing, right?
Right.
Private lending, and typically that's about 20% down payment. It doesn't require credit, all that stuff, right? But you have these high fees and closing costs,
super expensive,
and then your interest rate goes up to like 12% to 12.5%, right?
Right.
So this will be like another avenue where now they can consider this program.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a little bit, 25% more, but you think about the interest rate you're gonna pay, right? I mean, what is typically the interest rate for this type of program?
Well, it depends on your credit, but typically, I want to say right now, about 3.5% to 4%, depending on your credit score, LTV, and all that good stuff.
Right. And then they require the same documentations, right?
Right.
The 2-year tax returns, all that good stuff. Okay,
all that good stuff. Yep.
So that's great, right? So you think about an individual that's considering going to a private lender, right? I think the only reason why they would go to a private lender at this point is because of the credit score is probably low, right? But then if they don't have an exit strategy, right? Then they're stuck with that. And usually those loans are for a year. So if you don't get out of that loan in a year, then you're going to get penalized with the extension, which is a 2 to 3% extension, depending on the loan and the private lender itself.
You know what? Actually, so I have a 2-part question. So if just bear with me, I'll ask you the first question, and we can move into the second one.
Sounds good.
So my first question is for a first-time home buyer. What's a good loan or the best program you have for them?
For a first-time home buyer, I would say right now probably the RI housing one, and you do have to qualify for it. So there's a credit limit that we have to hit. You have to have a certain income and do the class. You got to do the first-time home buyer class.
I don't have to go to Rhode Island Housing specifically. I can go straight directly to you.
Correct. Yep. Wow. So we work, hand on hand with Rhode Island Housing to get your financing done, and those $10,000 that they gave you for your down payment.
Wow. And actually, on a side note, us as realtors, we prefer our clients to come with someone like Aldryn when they're doing a Rhode Island Housing deal, because that's another person or company or even face that we can basically communicate with in order to make sure the deal happens, versus just speaking directly to Rhode Island Housing, which is another beast and another conversation for another day.
It's super tough, yeah.
So now on that topic, right? So I got to say this, and I'll be honest, because I feel like in the market right now, whenever I have a buyer that's going through Rhode Island Housing, it seems like the other party is sort of like, they kind of screens their teeth and they're like, is there another alternative? And I'm like, no, well, so why is that? If you can, I don't know if you know the answer to that, but if you can speak on that a little bit, why do you think that's
it's just a longer process, right? So it has to be underwritten by the original banking, and then once that loan is cleared, we have to submit the loan to Rhode Island Housing.
So it's like a double clear type.
A double clear. It has to be underwritten twice, so it's a little bit more paperwork. But if you structure the loan correctly and get everything up front, you should be good.
That's where the underwriting skills come in effect.
Exactly.
There you go. For those loan officers, listen to this. You got to get your underwriting degree, man.
So when they send that file, it's nice and clean.
Nice and clean. I think that's the most important thing, is just having everything, everything up front. So.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, in this business, I've been doing it for 10 years now, and I mean, I've dealt with a lot of lenders, and I think organization is key.
Yes.
Especially
Yes.
when dealing with these type of
Right.
products, right?
Right.
Because if you prepare in advance and you structure it correctly, then less probability of things, falling through the cracks.
Exactly.
Right. And then, like I said, I've dealt with other lenders that they just don't look at these things. They just
Right.
send it over,
Right.
and it comes back with 10 million things, and then they got to come back
Right.
and then send it back again.
Right.
And then you lost already 2 weeks,
2 weeks,
plus
yep.
the processing time that it takes to get it done.
Right.
And then I think that's where the other parties now start to be, I don't want to deal with it anymore. And I think it has to do more with the person
Right.
that's dealing and handling the paperwork to send it over.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So,
Right.
Okay. That clarifies a lot
yeah,
of things. So,
yeah.
all right, cool.
So this actually ties into the second part of the question is based off of the market we're in today, guys, what's the best offer or program rather to be in to submit your offer, make your offer look strong?
The best program. I mean, typically, conventional product is, number one right now.
Right.
Just because, typically a conventional borrower is somebody who has, a higher credit score, more money down.
Yes.
So it makes it a little bit easier for underwriting to get your loan closed.
Right. Aldryn, put it in layman's terms for me, please. So Rhode Island housing, what is that? And then what's conventional? What's the difference between the two?
Well, Rhode Island Housing is, a program that, assists you with your down payment.
Yep.
Right? So, like I said, it has to go through 2 underwriters to get your loan cleared.
Right.
And typically, somebody who's using that is somebody who needs, funds to close.
Right.
And it's just, a longer process.
Right. So basically what I hear you're saying, correct me if I'm wrong, so Rhode Island Housing is a great program, especially if the client needs it, and there's programs there for a reason.
Yes.
So I would definitely take care of or take advantage of any program or free money that's always on the table.
Right.
Not necessarily that it's free, but
It's not free,
there,
but
right, if
nothing's
it's there,
free.
I use it. But also we have to take into account the market we're in.
Right.
So if we're
Right.
trying to reach the end goal of getting a property or moving into your dream home, we got to also consider those factors.
Right. Yeah,
and,
no, for sure.
And weigh those.
Right.
Because it may be you have to weigh out what's in your
Right.
best interest here.
Right. And
What's
it's
your
not
motive?
it's not a difficult product or loan.
Yeah.
It's just more time consuming. And like I said earlier, if you get everything up front and take care of everything, it should be a smooth process.
Right. Right.
I got a question about that. But coming from a loan officer, so let's say somebody really doesn't need to take the advantage of the down payment assistant. What they could do conventional, what would you tell them?
In that case, it's really up to them. All I can do is give them the options, and they have to make the decision on that.
Yeah.
Right. So I think
sometimes
that's
I talk to people, they could really do
right.
They don't have to, they could do FHA, regular FHA, without
they
the
can
down
do-
payment.
exactly.
But they think the free money and stuff like that. They think it's free, right?
No, it's not free. That's why education and educating clients is where
Right.
it really is that. That's the key. And just let them know that you can't do certain things
Right.
up front, because
Right.
if not, it's gonna kill the deal.
Right.
Right.
And if you kill the deal dies, no one's gonna be happy, right?
Right.
So we try to avoid that.
Right.
Right.
So let's just break the ice now. So that let's say the 10 grand program. Since I know we're gonna elaborate a little bit more on the programs that are available, but that $10,000 program, they have to pay it back within a certain time frame, or what's?
Yeah, so it's like a balloon payment, right?
Okay.
So if you sell your property, if you refinance, or if you stay with the property or the mortgage for the whole 30 years, you have to pay it back.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Cool.
Even if you stay with if you paid in 30 years, you still got to pay that back?
Yep.
Oh.
So if you stay with that, but typically nobody stays with the
No,
mortgage for
right.
30 years. So
Right.
typically people just refinance and just pay that off.
Okay.
Jenny, I think what you were thinking about was there was a program once upon a time where
that you
if
have
you
to pay back after
in the
5
first
years.
5 years.
Yeah.
But
Well, yeah,
that went
it was
away.
that was Rhode Island Housing, but
Yeah.
they changed everything
Right.
in regards to that, because a lot of
Right.
people were foreclosing.
And then after, I thought if you refinance and stuff like that, you have to pay it back. But if you stay with it for 30 years, but like you said, nobody stayed with it 30 years. I didn't think you had to pay it back. Like you're paying it for 30 years. You still got to pay $10,000 back. You know?
And I think just to be clear, I mean, they're both great programs. We're not opposed to either or, but really speak to the professionals, your lender and your realtor, and understand what's in your best interest for your end goal, the market, and your finances, you know? So.
And how much money down payment are they looking at? Like a first-time buyer?
How much money?
For the down payment?
Depends on the purchase price, right? So with the conventional loan, there's a home-ready, home-possible product that will allow you to buy a property with 3% down.
Okay.
All right, and for an FHA 1 to 4 family, it's 3.5%. So it really depends on the purchase price.
Nice. Okay. A question that I would want to ask you too, for FHA, you mentioned 4 units. What if like one of those units were like a commercial, like a store?
Yeah.
Can FHA finance on that?
Yep. As long as is 4 units or under, and the residential portion of the property is 51%, you can do a mixed-use property with FHA.
Okay, cool. So if I see one, I want to buy it, I want to put a business, I can do that and get the loan.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. FHA 3.5% down.
Nice. Okay.
Now,
cool.
Aldryn, these programs that you have with the down payment assistance, what are the things that a buyer needs in order to qualify for them?
Well, typically we would go through an application, run the credit, check income, and if they're first-time home buyers, I'll give them the different options. If, hey, here's Rhode Island housing, they'll give you, a certain amount of money, or do you want to go with this option conventionally, a quicker process, more attractive for sellers.
Right.
So typically what I do is, do the application, get all the information, and then go through the options and see what they want to do.
Educate. I love it.
Educate.
That's what we're about.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. I think that's important.
Yeah.
So now, I know a lot of people heard about Rhode Island housing, right? And we already know how that works. But now, talk to me about what's the difference between Rhode Island housing and the Chenoa fund that you're talking about.
The Chenoa fund?
The Chenoa fund or Chenoa.
I'm hungry now. I'm really hungry now.
That fund.
The Chenoa fund is actually it's a down payment assistance program that is administered by the Native Americans that it's anyone can use, and it's good in I believe 48 states. And there's a lot of different programs they do offer for first-time home buyers. One of the best ones that I like is the Chenoa Soft Second, meaning that they'll finance the whole portion of the 3.5% down FHA. And the cool thing about that program is if you make your payments on time for the first 3 years, that second
It's forgiven?
is forgiven.
Wow.
The second, the down payment is 100% forgiven.
So this is like a new version of like Rhode Island housing type thing, or
I don't know if it's a new version, but
how long has this been around for?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I'm asking. I'm gonna throw a curveball. Where did they get the name from? Because that's
I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's a tribe.
okay.
It's a tribe.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to disrespect. Say the name.
This is new to me too, because
Right.
things come up and we learn things, and it's part of the learning.
Right.
Right.
No, of course.
So what do they run out of funds? I mean, because I know sometimes like Rhode Island housing, sometimes I know they have like X amount of funds, and after they run out, they stop the program.
Yeah, of course. Especially last year, they stopped offering that program due to the pandemic for a couple months. So yeah.
Okay.
Do they have a specific amount, like a cap? You know how
They-
Rhode Island
they-
housing is doing 10,000 right
They
now?
give you the whole 3.5%. So if your down payment is 14,000, you can go up to 14,000.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what are the specifics to qualify for that?
Right.
Like, does it go through another underwriting process through to them? Or
No, that's one of the good things is that you don't have to underwrite with them.
What?
So it's just through my bank, and we can get it done.
Oh wow.
Yep.
So why
I'll be
Why
calling
do
you.
Rhode Island housing? I'm sorry, but like, should I say this on camera? Like, hello, like,
Organic question.
So I think it's just competition, right? It really, I think it comes down to that. Maybe I don't know.
Right.
Maybe how HomeSpire stands out amongst the others.
Right.
Right.
But that's great though. So you could use it for your down payment. What about what else can you just strictly down payment?
It's just strictly down payment.
Okay.
Yeah, just down payment. They'll help you out with the down payment, the complete 3.5%, and yeah. And if you you don't have to make a second. Sometimes with these programs you have to make 2 payments a month. This one's just like a balloon payment. You don't make any payments, and like I said, if you make 36 months of on-time payments, completely forgiven.
Wow.
You don't have to pay it back.
I like that.
So, my gosh, this is like neat.
Can
Go ahead,
I just
go ahead.
add something to that? Because
yeah.
I'm just thinking, then the buyer could potentially come to the table, have your agent have me negotiate your closing costs to be paid or covered by the seller, and then they use this program to cover the down payment. It's like 100% financing.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
I like that.
That's brilliant.
Wow.
That's really good.
That's brilliant. So then what happens if now let's say the buyer gives like a $5,000 deposit, right? And then now they're getting this. Do they
great
reimburse
question.
them back
That's a great
or?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay.
Of
So
course.
they get money back at the end.
Yeah, they
because-
get money back at the end if they.
So they won't say, "Oh, we're gonna take away what you put down."
No.
Okay.
I like
I
that.
get paid to buy a house.
I know. That's pretty
seen
cool.
it. I've seen it.
Me
Yeah.
too. That's
Yeah, for sure.
That is pretty cool. And then now, and I know you might have answered this a little bit, but I'm gonna throw it at a different angle. Does the process take longer with that program, or like you see Rhode Island Housing like
No,
extends?
it's a little bit easier. Like I said, it's just one bank that has to underwrite it, and that's it.
That's it.
And that's
Done.
it. Yep.
And that's your bank.
Yep.
Your bank.
Yep.
that underwrites.
Yep.
Wow.
Exactly.
That's beautiful. That's
awesome.
So pretty much a buyer, first-time buyer, can come to the table, like you said, negotiate the closing costs within the deal, get the program for the down payment assistant, and pretty much buy the house at 100% financing.
Right.
And they could get
Guys,
cash back sometime.
what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Get your house today. I wish I was a first-time buyer. I would have been jumping all over this. I was like, I want to
This is
buy.
great. Good.
Yeah, this is great. So, but I don't know if you guys have any other questions.
I will just say to the public, guys, if you're sitting on multis and considering buying a single family, you can qualify again as a first-time home buyer. I mean, I'm sure you can attest to that, right? So reach out to Aldryn, and have that conversation with him. You know?
Oh, since you mentioned that, can a person that has a multi and go into a single family, can they still use that program?
If they don't have an FHA.
If they don't have an FHA.
If they don't have an FHA, you can.
Right.
No.
So that's part of the FHA program.
Now, I think I'm treading on like rough waters here, but what if I refinance out of the multi?
Go conventional.
Go
investment.
conventional, then go for a purchase.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
you can
you
get
can do
it.
that. You can definitely do that.
I'm not raising any flags.
No.
I've been told underwriters are like the FBI agents for the banks.
Sometimes, yeah, that's their job. They have a license on the line too, so
Right.
they have to
Yeah,
make sure
right.
it's a sellable loan. So
Right. Yeah. So as long as everything is done correctly, right?
Right.
And, and it's done,
Right.
the right way, it shouldn't be a problem. All right, cool, man. Aldryn, thank you very much. This
problem.
was
It's a
very
pleasure. It was a good
informative.
time.
We definitely love this because we come out of here educated too. I mean,
Right.
we've been doing this for a while, but we're so in tune with out there dealing with buyers, and sometimes we forget
Right.
what's out there, what's good, right? So this is great. We're definitely gonna hopefully the public loved it, and they learned something too. They can buy a house at a pretty much 100% financing. Guys, call us now. But anyways, we really appreciate it. And we hope to see you soon, man. I know there's more to talk about, but we're gonna cut it here. But hey, thank you very much.
awesome.
Thank you, brother.
Hope to see you again on the show, please.
Yeah, for
You're
sure.
welcome anytime.
All right. Well, guys, thank you very much for joining us today at Real Estate Talk today. And till next time, take care.